Matt, when you realized that you're going to win this game, just what were the emotions going through your head at that point, knowing you've worked so hard for a win like this, you'd finally get it?
I was very excited. A lot of people stepped up, not only on the defensive side, but offensive wise too, like from the slots to tight ends. They're playing a lot. We had maybe 6 receivers that were in rotation, probably 4. And, they sucked it up. They were tired, they were hurting, but so was Indiana. And, I think that's just what kept them going, just knowing that they're not the only ones tired, and they really pushed through and just trusted the coaching and really just got their confidence within a week. JR was out there in the slot for a week, and then he's out there the third play of the game against the Division I defense. So just hats off to those guys really stepping up.
And Matt, how do you feel like your game matured throughout this season?
Really just not being surprised by anything, being better, reacting to what's happening instead of just thinking about what's happening, and just taking what they give you. You have a bad game, it is what it is. Learn from it, go on to the next. And knowing that my teammates got my back, my coaches got my back, I can't lose.
David Johnson.
Matt, can you contrast what you're feeling today versus what you were feeling when last season ended, not only for the team, but you as an individual, as you're widely considered to be one of the top quarterbacks returning in the college game going into next year?
It's a blessing to get the accolade or just to be in that conversation. But really, it's going to come down to 2021 Ole Miss football ... again, and just like this year was 2020 ... How do you guys want to be remembered? What kind of type of team do you guys want to be known as? And it starts January 18th when we come back and get ready to work.
Thanks.
Ben Garrett.
First off, Matt, you were named Outback Bowl MVP, and this is a game where you're coming off one that was really tough and against a team that was one of the best interception teams in the country. What was this game like for you as far as management, and what were you seeing out there to have a more controlled game?
They were bringing the same thing every single time. They do bring a lot of pressure, and they do a really good job of disguising it, and they're very well coached. But we didn't know what they were doing every single time, but majority of the time we did know who was plug-in, who was coming from they're either bringing the corner cat or the Mike or boundary backers plug-in, or you get the field fist. And, based on what type of blitz it was, you would know what coverage it is. And, our coaches did a heck of a job. And, hats off to Levy. Just really, I don't know. Something happened with his family, and he could have easily just left this game, and we all would have understood, but he didn't want to leave us, and we're really thankful for him.
This is kind of a strange follow-up, but John Rice Plumlee is a wide receiver, man. What's your evaluation of him when you saw him out there running routes?
I trusted John just because he's a quarterback and he thinks like one as well. Not just because he's a receiver doesn't mean he's not thinking like I am. He knew what I was looking for. He knew he was in the right spots and went at the right spots at the right time. He held his own for sure, and he's only going to get better. It's really only up for him because I know he's a hard worker, and I know it's when it's a want to, JR is going to do it.
Nick Suss.
Matt, so many times this year you guys have had the ball late with the lead or with the score tied and it didn't go your way. What was different with this last drive this time?
The difference was that the defense stepped up and they made the stop. The defense won us that game. It's plain and simple. They finished it for us. We didn't need to go out on the field again. We did, but we needed to take a knee. And that's the easiest play in football.
Matt, it seemed like after the game you tried to high-five every single person in the stands, every single person on the field. Just what did it mean to you to get to be the leader and kind of celebrate this one?
It meant a lot. God is good for putting me in this position and putting me on this type of platform that I have. My family was here. A lot of my family was here, and I'm very thankful that they got to make this game. And first thing I thought about for one was, where's Levy? It was emotional after the game, but it was good emotion. It was happy. It was happy tears. But I mean, I've never felt this type of relationship on a team before, ever in my entire life.
Hank Kurz.
Hey, Matt, Coach Kiffin gets a contract extension. You win a bowl game in kind of dramatic fashion. The defense rises up at the end. What kind of excitement does that provide for you guys going into next year?
It's really only up from here. We know what we have to do. We know what to get better at from this season, 100%. And it's just going to come down to working and how bad you want it. The coaches are going to give us everything, the tools we need and the guidelines to get to where we want to get to. It's going to come down to us and how hard we want to work and how bad we want it. And for not only my leadership, but every leader in every room, every position room is going to step up, and I will make sure of that.
David Johnson.
Hey, Matt, Casey Kelly might have surprised a few folks today with the impact he had. 6 catches, I think, in the first half, some key blocks thrown. What have you seen from him in practice, and what was your take on how reliable of a target he was for you today?
Casey's a hard worker. He shows it. Always asking questions, always locked in. Not a big doesn't mess around a lot really. He's a serious person, and I trusted him just based on how he prepares for a game, and just in practice, always asking me questions on certain routes and what am I looking at, and I just know that he's always locked in, and I know that he's a hard worker. So I mean, that really helped with the trust out there. And, I couldn't think about if I could trust him or not. I was just going to give him a shot and let them play. That went for 17. That went for 5 and 81 out there today.
Tyler Comas.
Matt, can you tell us a little bit about what that Outback Bowl MVP means to you personally?
It means a lot. I wouldn't have done this without the guys stepping up. They were a little discouraged after a few drops, and the O-line, a few loafs here and there. But I mean, I wasn't perfect at all, and I told them that. I told them that I need them to be, I need them to execute for us to win. I need them to win the route. I need them to win that play for us to win. And I told them that you 4 are the only ones I got. I looked them in the eyes, like, you guys are the only ones I got. I need you guys to make this happen for me, for us. And that was a conversation. They looked back at me and they said, Matt, I got you. All 4 of them did.
Our final question of the day from T. Akins.
Matt, talk about the quick pace that you guys played with. It seemed to catch IU off balance.
I mean, that's just our philosophy, moving the ball, or moving fast, snapping the ball really fast, and getting them tired, getting them winded. Around the first series, you could tell that they were getting tired, and it showed with all the injuries, I guess, falling on the floor and then trying to get a break.